Hey.
Hey,
Figure we do the Pat the
thank
Popper
you,
thing.
time capsule. I mean, holy moly, 45 minutes early, folks. That's some dedication. That's way earlier than us. I was thinking about taking a nap 45 minutes ago.
Yeah, welcome to another Cardboard Conversations. Pat is doing some packing for a trip that he's going on. Going to Washington. So he's going to
I
some
don't know.
other state than he's in. I don't know. Atlanta?
He
I don't know.
travels a bit. He travels more
Yeah.
than us.
He's doing some work function thing. He'll be here in Ohio in October, which is pretty cool.
Ooh, dude, I just news alert. Is that
Oh
for
my
real?
goodness. Maybe.
Holy moly. This is good. I need to share the screen. This is like, I just looked over, prior to the show, set up things that we're looking at. And this just happened to be on my other screen. This seems like a very good deal. This is a very, very good set. I don't say that often about things, so you can even try to put your guesses in here. Hey, Michael Superbacker. But I think this is a pretty good deal. Why am I getting like, oh, you're sharing your screen. Are you sure you want to do this? I'm getting like pop-up. Yes, I do this every week. So I think this is a damn good deal, folks. Oh, I don't know how to zoom in on especially this, but it's Jumpstart currently
You just
on.
hold control and scroll in.
Well, yeah, but
There we go.
okay, that made it more better.
Yeah.
So
That's more
I
better.
am a fan. I am a big fan of Jumpstart 1. And for this to be the price, 3 years after release? I think it's a great product to have on your shelves, folks. If you store sealed and you want to have, something for all occasions, so to speak. Hell,
is this the original? Is this the original Jumpstart?
Yeah, this is the original Jumpstart, man.
I have a case of this. I don't really need any more.
I don't have a case. Isn't it a funky case? Aren't these like long, flat? I think my buddy.
I'll go grab it.
And they're like wide and like just really bad for storage. I think I'd rip it out of the case. But this is an excellent. It's not really breaking news, Michael Superbecker. It's breaking news for Gaming Bob. But this feels like it just fell off a cliff. Yeah, I mean, like within the last month or so. So that's a pretty steep decline. Oh no, that's just a limited one, but that's a damn good deal, folks. I think this is a fantastic product. Looks like it's been holding steady at that 80 some odd dollar mark, but that's surprising. That's very surprising to me.
Never mind, it's buried. I don't really feel like digging it out right now.
It's just a very inconvenient box.
Yeah. Instead of it being 3 on top of 3, it's 3 side by 3. It's weird.
Yeah, it's not good for shelf storage space. So just rip it out of there and stack it on top of your other boxes. But looks like it's been this price for a while, and I just haven't been paying attention. I think I'm gonna have to buy some before it goes up. Eventually, the product will go up. It's a great product. It's fantastic for new players. It has worthwhile cards still in it. I mean, valuable cards still in there. You got Tiny Bones, you got Ristic Study, you've got just a whole bunch of things. You got Exquisite Blood, you've got just a ton of things in there, really. You got Craterhoof Behemoth. The Allosaurus Shepherd is really not as valuable as it once was, but it's still not a cheap card. But I bet you there's still a whole buttload of $10 plus cards in there. So just seems like a damn good deal comparatively to many other products out there. I think I'm gonna have to get
some. Interesting. It's interesting that it's been that price. I mean, I haven't really been paying attention because I'm just kind of like just let it. Yeah, I honestly, I kind of thought it'd be higher, to be honest, but it is what it is.
I think it should be too. And I was looking. I peruse TCG Player for sealed fairly frequently. Can't see with the overlap of these screens. But I was pricing out Commander Legends the other day, and I saw it on Amazon. Which, by the way, if you're buying on Amazon, folks, make sure that I did say buttload. Make sure that you're doing your appropriate price checks over on TCG Player, and if you're going to buy, use our affiliate link, please. Do we have that in the? Do we have the bot spitting out our affiliate link for the folks here?
Exclamation point affiliate.
The set. Let's look for Commander Legends. I'm just gonna Try to get right to the
I don't
quick of
remember
it.
I don't know. I don't remember what I called it.
But I think it was what did I post on our channel? It was like $190+ on Amazon for a box of Commander Legends.
Did
Something in that ballpark.
He did it. What?
So it don't pay attention to 139. It's actually, by the time you add in taxes, it's going to be about $150 roughly.
Yeah.
So this is a Japanese one. Get out of here. So realistically, about $155 a box,
Plus
but
tax,
on Amazon it was $190 something. I was like, get out of here. But another fantastic set. So these came out about the same time, Jumpstart and Commander Legends, and at the time, Jumpstart was way more expensive than Commander Legends. Jumpstart was like $150 a box easily on release because they mucked it up, and they underprinted it or something on the initial run, and so it took them, 2, 3, 4 print runs. So I think they got their print runs heavily saturated for the Jumpstart, but this is still an excellent set. I'm not going to bash this either. This was fun as hell to draft for Commander Raids. It's just a great set, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was great.
So it's fun to draft. It's for regular Commander. It's fun to draft for Commander Raids. It's a good, solid set. Speaking of good, solid sets, looks like Duskmourn is shaping up to be a good one. I've been out there hitting the tubes and on other people's channels, and seems like it's getting pretty wide acceptance across the platforms. Seems like the artwork isn't really that much of a turnoff for everybody, and the power level is just juiced from all the drafts I've been watching.
It's pretty good. I went to a sealed event yesterday at my local LGS, and I went with a buddy of mine. Nate was supposed to go too, but it was just David and I. Nate had something pop up, but yeah, it was fun. My deck was an Esper, a blue black white enchantment centric deck, because there's a lot of enchantments in the deck. There's doors, there's normal enchantments, there's creature enchantments, and I was just kind of like just a lot of things that were. There's a new mechanic called Eerie. It's whenever a enchantment enters the battlefield, whenever you fully unlock a room, something happens, which is interesting. Fully unlocking the rooms is interesting. Some of them, like the order of them matters. So you can like play one side of the room and then like do the other side, and it's just like one of the ones was like, whenever a card leaves your graveyard, you get to make a 2/2 enchantment creature, and then the other half for 1 mana was like take a card from your graveyard and put it into your hand. So I was just like, you play the first half of the room and then you unlock the second one, and it just it is a special ability too, which can't be interacted with, which is interesting. I think you can interact with the like targeting of the effect, but you can't like counter it unless it's like maybe I don't even think it's an activated ability. It's just a special ability or something like that. A special action, I think is what they call it. It's very strange.
You could like discontinuity or something like that, but nobody's running that main board.
Yeah. So yeah. And as far as power level, I felt like my deck was synergistic, but I don't know that I would say that it was super strong. And one of the decks that I came across, his deck was very strong, but like there was a couple cards in sealed that is just a complete blowout. Like I faced this one card called Valgavoth's. 1 second, I'll pull it up.
Is that the one that creates a 6/6 on flyer on turn 2?
No.
Yeah.
It's called Valgavoth's Onslaught.
I was like, damn, that's pretty rough. Maybe it was turn 3. Turn 2 or 3, I was watching Jake and Joel play, and it was like, oh, that's not a little push. It was a token, but so what? It's a 6/6 flyer on turn 2 or 3. Whew.
I've got a card. I pulled a card called Aberrant Oculus. It's a 5 mana or 3 mana 5/5 flyer. But in order to cast it, you have to exile 6 cards from your graveyard. And I never casted it because I could never do it. It sucked, but it is what it is.
I mean, maybe not in sealed, but
yeah, in sealed. Yeah, I was trying to play in sealed. I figured I'm like 6 cards. That's not a lot, but I mean, it never happened. So, yeah. But yeah, the share screen. This guy, this in sealed. Valgavoth's Onslaught. So it's green XX, manifest dread X times, then put X 1/1 counters on each of those creatures. If you just pay 5 mana into this, it's 5 mana for 2 4/4s. And in sealed, that's very strong. How do you beat that?
Especially in green.
Difficult. Yeah, especially when you're looking at it and you're like, the creature. It doesn't even have to be a good creature. They can just be 4/4s. But if it is a good creature, it keeps the 2/2 counters when you flip it up, and you get to choose between 4 total cards. It's a blowout, man. It wrecked me every time it was cast against me. It was my only loss.
There were others, and like the removal in it is very strong. They have some really strong removal at common.
Yeah.
One of the blue ones was just utterly like that's going to make it into like pretty much most blue commander decks. It's a common 1 casting cost enchantment that turns the creature into a 0/2 vanilla and strips it of all abilities.
Yeah, I actually pulled that. It's called.
People aren't saying it in standard, but I was like, oh God, what's that called? What's the one that where you lock down their commander like that? That everybody. It was a really expensive. I don't know if it was a common, it was an older one that turns it into like a 0/1 or a 1/1 with no abilities.
Well, there's Citizen's Arrest, which is from Streets of New Capenna. Makes it like a 1/1 white soldier. And then there's something about the moon. It's called something. It's called something about the moon. Imprison in the moon. That's another enchantment that was like 3 mana to do the same thing. Like it makes it a colorless land. And then now there's this 0 drop and makes it an 0/1 or makes it -2. I think it's -2 -0 and then no abilities, or it makes it an 0/2 with no abilities.
It's not a 0 drop. It's a 1 drop. 1 blue.
No, I'm saying it makes it an 0/2.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that's pretty strong. I mean, it's going to be cheap, so it won't be expensive, but I think that's just going to be annoyingly now in almost every blue deck that's out there. It's just it
has also it has another caveat on it as well. It's less notable, I guess, but if it's a face down card, it can't be turned face up.
Oh, was that on the blue one?
Yeah, nice little addition on it.
Wow. Anyways, I watched a couple other people drafting. I can't remember who. Was it Hillbilly? I can't remember. But yeah, I mean the set looks very strong.
Oh, it's called Unable to Scream.
Yep, that's the one. The set seems fairly pushed to me. There were a bunch of them. There's a little 2/2 red guy that's going to be just a combo enabler, where he like pings you every time. Oh, I can't remember.
Every time you draw a card,
raise or something. Yeah, that's it. Every time you draw a card. Yeah, that's not a yeah, that is a common.
Yeah, that's common.
Yeah, that's a little strong for a common. Like I cast Valgavoth. Okay, I sack 3 permanents. There.
I mean, Valgavoth. If you can get him out, he's definitely the ward cost is wild.
I mean, I can't imagine a Kalia the Vast deck that's not going to be running it. Like that just it screams to be put into Kalia the Vast or Reanimator decks. You know, it's brutal. I said that when you first showed it, I was like, oh my God, that thing's, and it's the most expensive card that I saw in the set.
Yeah, it's quite good. Another thing they added into the set, which was really, really nice, was the cyclers. The island, or like the island cycle, mountain cycling, swamp cycling, and for a sealed experience, it's really nice. So I was actually able to use one of those for swamps. Just helps fix mana. It's just nice. They're not worth anything, but they're definitely, they should be included for like the draft or sealed experience.
Well, and the glimmers, right? Though that's a whole new annoying freaking mechanic, especially in like constructed. Not so much commander. Well, yeah, I mean it's pretty freaking strong and annoying. You know, basically got undying. So that's another just like icing on top. I love the prop room. I think that's going to see play in a lot of white decks. People are like, oh, it's going to go in token decks. I'm like, man, I think people aren't thinking of it well enough. Like any creature that taps to be able to tap it 4 times a turn or a round, like that's pretty strong in Commander. You know, Seaborn Muse, It's a pretty strong card, and now you're putting it in white. And yeah, there you go. Razorkin Needlehead. That's another one. I was like, ooh, yeah, that's gonna go off.
This is a really good card, though. I mean, I think that you need to, sometimes people need to calm down with the drawing of the cards. You know, it's basically
That'll definitely do it.
well, I mean, it's no different than like Orcish Bowmaster. It's the same thing. Although I guess
You
Orcish
put him in an
Bowmaster only
Orcish
cares with the
Bowmaster deck,
extra
right?
card.
Pretty much, you just lock him down with Bowmaster and this guy, and it's like, ooh.
There are a lot of things that get around Razorkin. If you're talking like, if you're thinking of like CDH wise, like, what is
I'm not
that?
saying it's all that in a bag of chips. I'm just saying for just a rare, a 2/2 red guy. That's now I could just tell you it's going to be a combo enabler in decks. Period. It's going to be in
like
those.
Ad Nauseum, for instance, that just puts them all in your hand. But anyways, yeah, it's still a really good card. I agree. I think it's definitely going to be annoying, and it also goes extremely well with Obnixilis.
I'm just saying it's a really solid card. I don't, like I said, I don't really enjoy the artwork in this set, but as far as like playable cards go, honestly, I'm going to say I think it's better than Bloomburrow.
I can tell you that the hype of the set was not better than Bloomburrow.
The hype wasn't, and the artwork isn't, but I think the cards themselves are. Like just pure. I don't know how many Bloomburrow cards are going to end up, as a include in most commander decks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah, that needle guy, the Razorkin Needlehead with this guy, that is a match made in heaven. I'll tell you what.
It gets pretty big.
Yeah, he'll get big. You draw tons of cards. It's fantastic.
Put infect on that Razorkin Needle guy, and then make everybody draw 10 cards. You win.
Oh, is it him doing the damage?
Yep.
Put lifelink on it, then you gain life.
I'm just saying, like the poison is sort of like the way to go. You just drop them. I think there are some artifacts that you can put infect on something.
Yeah, something exoskeleton.
So I think you can get it out pretty quickly. Now all you have to do is work on, forcing the entire table to draw.
Yeah, grafted exoskeleton. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has infect. There's probably other things as well, but that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
I'm just saying, like it can definitely be a combo enabler in many ways, right? So I think that's just one of the strong cards. Like I said, it's just a lot of sneaky little things that I saw this week. From watching people play, I was like, oh god, I don't know how that guy got that 6/6 flyer out on like turn 2 or 3. I was like, oof, that's pretty much game over.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, unless it's the Aberrant Oculus, but I don't know of a 6/6
I don't know if it was like pitch a card and it creates a token of it that's a 6/6 flyer, or I don't remember, but it was like, how the hell do you get a 6/6 flyer out on turn 2 or 3? And he only had like 2 or 3 mana. I'm like, that's kind of busted. So that was brutal, especially in sealed. To be able to do that in standard sealed, ooh, that's yikes. That was like pretty much, you might as well just fold and start the next game at that point, unless you got an answer right away.
I had a pretty cool card that was called Aesthetic. What was it? Looking. It's here it is. Erratic Apparition. 3 mana for a 1/3 flying vigilance, and then has eerie mechanic. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn. I had 2 of those out, and I was able to play an enchantment and then fully unlock the room, and then swing for 8. And then that's almost half their life in sealed. So it was pretty good. They weren't as good as I wanted them to be because I didn't have like super synergistic levels of being able to like dump enchantments on the field, but I had a few things I was able to like put them on there, so it made them pretty nice. And plus flying Vig, it's pretty solid for 3.
Yeah. I haven't. Have you watched any collector box openings? I haven't seen that yet, and I wonder if that's where these special art frames are, because I didn't. Well, they didn't have the actual cards. It was all digital that I was watching.
I started watching an opening of one, but then the people that I started watching, I didn't really care for them, so I just stopped, and then I just didn't find anybody else.
Okay.
There's no
I know that one
serialized
guy
cards, and
opened it
there's no
super
like
early.
nothing's really pricey. I mean, there's like a couple.
Oh, there are the Japanese fractured frame ones that don't look like Magic cards. Look like they belong in, I don't know, some other game.
I mean, they're a couple $100, but I'm talking like thousands. There's no like serialized.
Well,
There's
okay.
nothing. There's no like lot. There's no
That's an
lottery here.
absurd thing to expect out of a regular run of the mill standard freaking release, man. That's
Is
just
it?
yes, it is.
Like, serialized cards go any set that has serialized cards, they go for hundreds and hundreds, more than a couple hundred, so upwards of $500, $600, $700 at times.
I think that's going to collapse in on itself. I don't think that can maintain.
Like looking at the set does not look like there's a lot of value in it, to be honest. If like basically the entire first page, nothing is more than $20, and the only ones that are worth more than $20 is special versions in the collector boxes, the fractured Japanese fractured.
I mean that's essentially what they've done, and I've said it before. I'd have to show like math to really illustrate the point that you've taken the money out of the sets. You're draining it from one place and putting it in another. There's a finite pool of money that people will spend on Magic cards, right? And if you're spending thousands of dollars on a card, that's sapping the entire value of the sets. And if you go back and look at the sets, you'll see that you can read that. Right? You'll see that that's the case, that all the money is in just a few cards, and there are far fewer copies of those cards. I don't really like that direction. Because it takes the enjoyment from the many and giving it to just a few that are willing to drop the money on collector boxes and gamble, really, which is what that is gambling on whether or not you're going to hit a big hit. Because it's brutal when you watch those openings and they don't get a big hit out of a box, and they lose $100 on an opening. And it's like,
what's crazy is this is pre-release prices, $19. That's the highest normal card, $19. That's really freaking bad.
Yeah,
and that's like something
because it's all the value, like I said, is in.
What the hell's the difference?
To what?
This Meat Hook Massacre is number 293. It's just normal card. And then this Meat Hook Massacre is 0108. Also looks like a normal card. I don't see. Is this in like one of the precons?
Maybe. But precon should have the same symbol.
Oh. What the fuck? There's like this black, like spooky shadow thing at the bottom of the art.
Oh, like a little spider?
It's like a shadow ghost. Oh, yeah. I mean,
looks like a centipede with a little Beetlejuice tiny head on the front of it.
This thing. And it's not here on this one. Yeah, it's like a really weird looking spider, but that's like a I don't even know if I would notice it when I'm opening a pack of cards, because it would look.
It probably comes in like, you're right. It's probably like, oh, that's the version that's in the. That's just one more thing that we have to pay attention to and get educated on. That you want the spider version of the thing? Well, you got to open it in this particular product, dude.
Yeah, what is
I
it
did
called?
not go to Magic University.
I don't know.
Like I don't know what card that dude played. It was in black. And he got out a 6/6 flyer on turn 2. I'd have to go back and rewatch that.
Yeah, I didn't see any black flying 6/6s, but that sounds really good.
It was a token, right? It wasn't the creature itself. It created a token.
Like there's Doomsday, which is a 6/6, but that's 6 mana. So
no, I don't think it was the card itself. I think it is part of the casting cost. Maybe he had to pitch something, or I don't know. multiple cards. Not something that I really paid much attention to. Oh, there it is. When you unlock this door, create a 6/6 black demon creature token with flying. Okay, but that's at least 5 mana. So I must have been not paying really close attention.
I was gonna say, I mean,
It's a
there's not
room.
really a
It's
ton of ramp
unholy
in the
annex.
set. So.
It's 3 mana room. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. If you control a demon, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. Jesus, that's pretty strong. Beginning
Oh,
of
is
your end
this
step, draw a card.
Unholy Annex?
Wow. Yeah. That's pretty strong.
So I can think of one way to cheat the ritual chamber and getting it on turn 4. There's something called Keys to the City that unlock a room, and it only costs 3 mana to use. Or sorry, Keys to the House. It's 1 mana to play artifact, and then you can pay 3 mana, sacrifice it, lock or unlock a door of target room you control. I like that you can relock rooms. That's pretty cool. Like you unlock the room, get the effect, relock the room, and then unlock it again.
Get 2 6/6 black flyers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, this has to have
not
been
only
it.
that is it, on the top half of the artifact. It's sacrifice the key, search a library for a basic land if you don't have a room. So like it's a double. It's not. It's just really good. It's a really good sealed card.
But it feels to me like Bloomburrow is just out. Like I don't even really know most of the cards in it, and it's already time for this set, and we're looking forward to the next set, and they're already opening up Festival in a Box.
Well, there was a guy that opened the Festival in the Box at the event that I was at yesterday, and he pulled a Grixis something or other that he claimed it was worth $350.
Well, it's so a word of caution to everybody out there, right? Mystery Booster 2. There is so much we don't know about it yet. We know that they said it's supposed to be widely available. Holy moly! Somebody's got a Urza Lord High Artificer future site. I'm assuming that's got to be foil listed for $1,100. Get out of here! Like
there
these
it is.
prices these are wish list prices, folks. Do not buy into the hype of it right now. Give it, if you really want these cards and you really like them, I highly recommend that you wait until more of it's out in the hands. And I'm gonna say I have a feeling they're gonna sell this Festival in a Box for probably the next couple of festivals or maybe the entire year. Right?
Well, they've already said these are not available at Gen Con. These are not available at any. Well, at the moment, they're not. They don't plan to sell them as like actual boxes.
What, you mean the Festival in a Box?
Yeah, they're not planning to sell them.
It's the Mystery Booster 2. I guarantee you they're selling it at Gen not Gen Con, at Magic Con.
Nope.
Yeah, they said they're going to.
No, you can only participate in 2 events. From what Tolarian Academy said, he said the boxes will not be sold at events. You have to participate. You cannot just buy a box, is what he was saying. I don't know where he got his information from.
That directly contradicts what Gavin said.
Yeah, I know. He said it would be readily available, but like, what does that mean?
No, he said the boxes would be available. Yes.
Tenacious Pup, $268. Why?
Well, and if you look, like the prices are even starting to drop drastically, already, and it's
because this is one of the new the new arena cards. When it enters the battlefield, game 1 life, you get a one-time boon. A boon. I've never heard of a boon before. When you cast a creature spell, that creature enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter, trample counter, and vigilance counter. How the hell do you keep track of that? Is it like a delayed trigger?
I have things. I have things for that.
Probably a delayed delayed trigger.
I have all those little tokens that I printed up on my 3D printer that have like trample and haste and all that kind of stuff on them.
Well, no, I meant keeping track of the boon, not the counters. I have counters.
No, I'm talking about it would have the boon.
Oh,
right? You know, with the trample
just say
haste and
boon.
whatnot. Huh?
Would you say boon? I guess.
Well, no, that is the boon.
No, the boon is you get a one-time boon with when you cast a creature spell. When you cast a one-time boon. So yeah, so that happens one time, and it enters with a 1/1 counter trample, which.
There's an angel like that. That the next time that you cast something, it gets either a +1/+1 flying or lifelink, and it's just a boon sitting out there waiting for you to cast a creature.
Wow, this art's a little scandalous.
What?
I'm surprised.
What?
I'll show it. It's like it's more it's almost sorcery level of that one. Nope, not that one. The hell? Oh, what? Yeah.
What? The command tower future sight's going for 500.
Well, this one, Titania Protective Argoth, is 700.
Yeah.
You can see boobas.
Not really.
I don't know, it's fairly uncommon for the newer cards to actually have like a little bit of a sex appeal. They seem to have been getting away with like Earthbind, like getting away with that. Maybe that was because she was like being like bound up, I guess. But
well, I mean, if you don't look too hard at Merryweatherlight Duelist, the artwork on that one looks questionable. That's don't even really want to show it. Did you see it there on TCG Player? It's right after Titania.
Weatherlight.
Miri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's so yellow.
Looks like she's sitting on what? Oh boy. Yeah. Moving on.
It's also very yellow. Like it's so yellow.
Sure.
Why is it so yellow?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a command tower future site. That's interesting. $500.
Yeah, that's what I just told you. I was like, get out of here. Like these prices are not going to hold, folks. Like, do not get caught up in the hype. That's but it drops off drastically from there because you got the Karn Legacy Reforged future site, then you got the command tower at 500, then you got Squee at 280, then foil at 110. That's not 268. The Tenacious Pup. The market price is 59. But then Urza Saga is the next one, and that's all the way down at $45. So, yeah, I would be very, very cautious about. Oh, you broke the seal.
Yeah, I wanted to see if there was anything special. I can get a one-time. If there's anything hidden.
No,
for the folks. Look, there's a pond. I'm not going to open the box. I'll save that for when Pat gets here. So there's a one-time ponder.
You can open your collector packs.
Yeah, I will.
I think it's the same. I think it's the same. I don't know. Maybe it's not for the secret layer in the envelope.
Yeah, it's called little heroes or little legends.
I know, but I don't know if the secret card in there is the same in every pack. But if you have no intention of keeping those cards, then I wouldn't crack it. Man, I already drank all my coffee, folks.
Draft of the Unknown Mystery Booster 2. Boom.
So crazy. Yeah, I mean, awesome. We're gonna crack one when Pat gets here.
Yep, that'll be. Look forward to that, folks, in October. And the box is.
We're gonna do a little draft amongst the three of us. That's a very
maybe I will.
Very rare event to see the three of us together drafting some Magic. Watch Matt kick the shit out of us. It's, I think, a mistake. All these channels I'm watching just crack this sort of. Ooh, I got to open it now. I think that there's going to be a lot of hurt feelings, stepped on toes, so to speak.
This is a good pack right here. Tell you that. Commander Master.
From what I've heard, oh, they're all heat, which don't buy into that either, folks.
Oh, you think they're like all the collector packs are like juiced? Yeah,
that's what they were saying.
I mean, they're all heated. I think
somebody
maybe they
pulled,
mean they're all heat they're like they're good sets. They're all good sets.
somebody
Ixalan,
pulled,
Wilds, and Commander Master.
one guy pulled a foil jeweled full art jeweled Lotus from their Commander Masters pack.
That's a good one.
So yeah, whatever. I wouldn't buy into that. It's just random, folks. Don't believe what you hear. Nobody knows. And of course, people only talk about the hype. They don't say like when we were sitting there in Vegas watching the dudes open their M30
That one guy
packs.
got a Mox. What was it? A Mox Ruby?
Mox Ruby. He got Mox
And
Ruby.
he sold it for like $3. I think it was like $250 or $300.
It was $250. I remember.
Mox Ruby. What is it going for now? Let's find out.
But
did he make a good deal?
But the other people
not. They're $1,200 for the 30th edition.
Yeah. Well, and in all honesty, how about the other folks that were cracking their packs there and getting like $5 cards? Like I was like, ooh, there were a lot of dudes cracking all 4 of their packs there in that VIP room, and I'm like, oh.
Ooh, did you see there was an uptick on the 30th anniversary boxes?
Nah, but I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. It tends to hover right around that 1,200. It'll go up as high as like 1,400 to 1,600 and then come back down because they'll put more.
I saw for like a month it was down to like 1,100, but now it's back up to 1,200.
Yeah, and well, no, it's been 1,200 for like ever. If you pull up the graph, it's like flatline.
It just did. Yeah, for the last month it was 1,100, and then now it's 1,200.
But it's pretty flatline. It's not moving much. You'll have to wait till it dries up. You'll know the second it dries up. The second it dries up, that's when prices just go, wait, I can't get it anymore. Now I want it. That's just the finicky nature of Magic the Gathering players. That FOMO when supplies start drying up, and you're going to see that. And that's why I said with the Jumpstart, yeah, I do want to get more. I have, I think, either 1 or 2 boxes of Jumpstart. I need more.
Oh, speaking of Festival in the Box, guys, it sold out finally. It did sell out, quote unquote.
It sure did,
like
and then it shot right up.
It seemed like the moment they started shipping it is when it sold out. Right around that time. So,
yeah, make of that what you will, but
it didn't last the whole 45 days that it said it was going to last, or the 50 days, whatever the timer was.
Okay, we had plenty of time. But look at that; it's already dropped down. It jumped immediately up to $375. And now it's back down to $291.
That's
and I wouldn't buy it at this price either, folks. That's not
way too expensive.
Way too expensive. Because imagine what's going to happen if they do the same thing that they did with Mystery Box 1, which they haven't said that they won't. And let me reveal what I mean by that. So, Mystery Booster 1 got all the way up to like $900 a box because people didn't know how it was going to be distributed.
Later time capsule.
And as soon as there was a second wave, and they did all kinds of things with it, meaning that they printed it again. The original one is still more expensive than the ones that we got, but it's very difficult to tell which version you have of the cards. It's very difficult to tell what version you have of the box, but it's roughly about $170, right? That's where it's kind of settled in at. And I think we got ours for what, 110, 120, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's to say, it's more than right now on TCG Player. If you break down the Festival in the Box and you calculate how much the packs are worth versus how much if you calculate how much the packs are worth versus and also the box plus the secret layers, if you toss in a couple dollars for each of the secret layers and then adding the promo cards, you're looking at around $120 for the box, and people are paying $300, which is, I mean, I guess I kind of get it. You can only get it in the Festival of the Box right now, so it was limited to 3 if you didn't make like multiple accounts. And I don't know how they work with the dresses.
I expect multiple secret layers with this in it. I think they'll have multiple Festival in the Boxes, just like they did with the Mystery Booster 1. I think this will probably be available at multiple conventions, probably throughout the year, or at least a year. If not, then, you've already missed out on the good price. Like, I wouldn't go chasing it now. I would just say, chalk it up and say, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't really
Coach.
plan to open the little legends. I'm just gonna keep it sealed. I don't really want
I
any of
would.
them in there.
Well, we can watch a video and see, and then if
It
you
is the
really want to
rainbow
open it,
foil
why not?
edition. I didn't realize they were foil, so they'll be nice and pringled whenever somebody opens these.
Well, they're flat now because the packet's flat. But I agree with you, Coach. I would be very, very cautious about jumping on any of these cards at these prices, on jumping on the boxes at these prices. If you happen to go to a con and you can pick one up for 110, 120, I think their price point now is probably at 140 would be my guess, because that's what they seem to want for, the play boosters, and that seems to be like their entry level pricing of boxes. So I'd expect
Yeah,
between
coaches, but
120,
they also
140.
I don't know. Well, I don't know where Tolarian Academy got his information, but he said that they will not be selling the actual boxes by single boxes at the conventions. But I don't know if that'll change.
I wouldn't take him as a source of truth. I would take the Wizard site. I would take Gavin, what's his name? Newsom? No, Gavin Verhey. Sorry.
Yeah.
Gavin Verhey. He's the one that spoiled it and said it's going to be very available, right? So if Watsy's saying that, I would be ultra cautious about, chasing the dragon here.
I mean, it was really available. It was available for weeks.
For a month, at least a month, right?
Yeah,
and
it was quite available.
What I'm more surprised by is, they said they would ship on the 16th, and I got mine on the 20th. So I'm pleased with that. And we're gonna have it on hand for Pat when he gets here. So that's at least something, give Watsy a little kudos for, that seems like they've improved their supply chain issues. That would be interesting, because I don't think we have an address posted publicly, but that would be awesome. We will open it for you for sure.
Thanks, Clayton. I'll open it for you.
But we live geographically in different places, but I appreciate that.
Well, he gave 10 cases to each of us, of course.
Oh, okay. So we got 30 cases to open. That would be boring. I don't want to open that many boxes.
I would do it all day. It would be so fun. It might get boring, but I think I'd have a good time for a while.
No, even when I opened up the Lorcana, when I was opening a case, it was 4 boxes. By the 3rd box, I was like, okay. So it's like a treasure hunt. We'll have to go find the cases. They're somewhere geographically centrally located.
Ooh, a geocache of 10 cases.
Right, there we go. There you go. That would be cool.
That's a good geocache, I'll tell you what.
That would be fun.
So Benson, he released a video and sent me a message privately. Was talking about Costco selling Magic the Gathering products, and this isn't necessarily new. But what is new is that in his video he mentioned they were showing on the register that you could actually hold on, I'll pull it up here. I'll even link the video for y'all if you want to go watch it afterwards over to Benson's.
Costco has the Fallout Commander Collection bundle for $159.
Yeah, for $159. This isn't terrible. I don't know what the prices normally are. So there's a video that I'm talking about here, and then let me show.
Yeah, well, we live near Joey Moss, so I don't think he has another job. So anytime these things hit the shelves, he wipes out Costco or Wally World or everything else within our local area.
How do I want to zoom in? Let me zoom.
So condolences for all the Magic players near us.
There we go. So the next set, this is the register view, I guess, is Lord of the Rings.
Oh, it says Commander Bundle.
Yeah, it's the same. So it's the same thing as what they currently have. But the thing that they have is they have 4 foil promo cards down at the bottom here. This here. So what we're speculating on, and Benson's this is just speculation. Nobody has any information at the moment. But if it has the bundle from, like, if it has the 4 promo cards, like of the One Ring and the 3 other ones, that'd be crazy.
No, it's not a bundle. It's the Commander Bundle.
I know.
They have lots of Commander bundles. Like if you look, it says the Gathering Fallout Commander Deck Collection Bundle. I'll bet that's what
I'm
this is.
aware. But it also says 4 foil promo cards. What are the promo cards? That's all we care about. I don't care about anything else in the box. All I care about is what are the promo cards. Because if it's the One Ring, they're going to be quite valuable. Because right now these commander bundles that are currently going on, they've got like March of the Machine at the moment. They're selling for $50. So if you can get yourself a One Ring plus some packs plus a commander deck for $50, yeah, they're going to fly off the shelves. They're going to be sold out for sure. So it's just it all hinges on what are the promos. Because this is the current situation right here. These are. Can I just open the image?
I think that looks like it. It's a different little package, but lots of extra dead cardboard space. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the packaging.
Well, what needs to be in there is the One Ring, Orcish Bowmaster. I don't know what else is valuable in that set. The Mithril. I don't think there's many valuable cards in the set outside of those. Like, people are gaga over it, but I don't think there's a lot of valuable cards in that set.
It's not the One Ring, Coach says. It could be. You don't know that. It really should be because it needs a reprint. Like
it could be that that picture scene with the One Ring and Frodo and.
That's what I was saying. 4 cards. I mean, that's
could be.
It's the right number of cards to be the One Ring, even if it's the One Ring, but like in a crappier.
That'll upset a lot of people, right? Because there's the Costco paywall, right?
Yeah,
you have to be a Costco member to get it, and I think that would really cause a rift, just like the Nalathini Dragon did back in the day. Right, that people hated the Nalathini Dragon, because
I don't know what that is.
It was the first one that wasn't in a Magic box, right? You could only get it from it was some sort of Dragon Con or something, and it was in the back of a flyer or a magazine or book or some shit.
Okay.
And people were mad that. And it was a crap card, still is. I have one just because I like the memes. And then they did the same thing with Harper's, with the Arena card is what it's called, Arena. I love the artwork on it. One of my favorite artworks.
All right, coaches, this is what I was saying. They were basically saying that it's going to be readily available for events, but you can't just go buy it like you could with Mr. Boosters 1. Is what it sounded like to me. Is what they were doing. But I don't. It's on. We'll know in a few months. It's not that big a deal. But
we'll know in less than a few months. We'll know next month.
Yeah, it'll be nice if they don't just sell them at the conventions. Although I kind of like the idea if they do, because it should be a product that's readily available and fun. But if they don't sell it at conventions, then these boxes will maintain that price. It will be in the 200 plus mark.
I mean, depends on how much of it they actually printed, because they could end up keep doing more festivals in a box, right? There's nothing that says that you can't get it in the next festival in a box.
That is a good point, coaches. That if they did reprint the One Ring, but they did it in a way that only Costco had the rights to, and it screws over all the LGSs because they don't even have access to that product, that would be pretty shitty. But I guess we'll find out soon. I don't know when that does it show like when this is gonna happen. No, it's just there's no date on when these bundles are gonna come available. But at any rate, that's it's some mystery booster fun. Yeah, look forward to the channel for the opening of our box. We're gonna do some live, I don't know, maybe a command. We could try to do a commander draft. I don't know how that'll do. Maybe we'll just open the box. Who knows? We'll do something with it. So I want to talk about MetaZoo a little bit, and the only reason I want to bring this up is because I don't really care about MetaZoo. I have I'm interested in the what's going to happen to the IP. So there's some news that's interesting about this that was released, which I like. It's interesting. So I want to bring it up to you guys. So if you aren't familiar, MetaZoo went bankrupt. The actual company, they filed bankruptcy, and they were selling off the product to bidders, basically just auctioning off the IP all as one package. I think there might have been a way to split it, but I don't think they did. So it's still in the courts at the moment. But somebody bought it, or they've won the offer. The offer was $2 million for everything. It was like $2,050,000, something like that. It was purchased by a brand new LLC called MetaZoo Enterprises LLC by a man named Charlie Herlocker. Currently Charlie Herlocker is the director of a company called GameCubator Labs, which is a company that focuses on developing TCG IP based off of design concepts from Richard Garfield and Scaff Elias. Now, I know Richard Garfield. We all know Richard Garfield, but I have no idea who Scaff Elias is. Another thing that makes this interesting is that Richard Aarons currently is the co-founder of the company. If you don't know who Richard Aarons is he was the executive VP for WotC from 1993 to 2001, and the executive vice president of Pokemon from 2002 to 2023. So, like, if there were anybody to buy and try to revitalize a product like MetaZoo, that would be the people to do it. Like, they definitely have the experience and the potential, apparently the wallet as well, to buy it and revitalize it. So I'm very interested to see what's going to happen with what they plan to do with the IP. I mean, they have full rights. They have the art. They have everything. They have the product.
You call that art? Like that? That's something special.
For people that like Pokemon, it's pretty close to Pokemon art, in my opinion. They both look kind of, fun and colorful, and but yeah, so far it's like it's still pending approval, but it's unlikely that it'll not go through because it's close to the actual.
I think it's a toxic asset. I think it's a bad idea. I think it's sometimes you just let the sleeping dog lie. Yeah, I think that was a hype buy by most people. Ooh, get in on it while it's still hyped. It's the financial end of it. I haven't ever seen a game played, not even online.
I can't remember if I watched, because I wanted to learn how to play it. I think I might have watched a how to play video.
I'm just saying.
But I can't remember really how to play.
Never seen one of the LGSs around here advertise that they're going to have a MetaZoo game day. My local LGS didn't carry it even when it was hyped. He wanted nothing to do with it. That was a Rudy push, in my opinion. And that's the power of Rudy, the influence of Rudy.
Yeah, it definitely didn't hurt. I'll tell you what, with the news of somebody buying it, some of the boxes, namely the first edition boxes, have went up in price significantly. People are speculating 40, 50% boost in price.
You just hit the key word, speculating.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And throughout history, are you familiar with anybody here familiar with the Great Tulip Bubble? That was all speculation. That's the first known bubble. In Holland, they were all about their tulips, right? And people would pay up to a year's salary to buy tulip bulbs during the craze, for different types of special tulips. You should look it up. It's on, like, if you do the wiki, it's an interesting thing. I watched a documentary on it, and it's like, it just shows you how stupid people can be. And it's not like it's a new thing. So guess what? People have been stupid for hundreds of years, folks. And, that's kind of what you're looking at is MetaZoo was just a tulip bubble. And we see it with a lot of different card games. No offense. And if you show up dual brain, that cryptic, I think that sorcery may go the same way. Sorry. Who is it? Is that Time Capsule? It's the big sorcery guy. Anyway, somebody on our channel here is a big sorcery person, and I think that that's probably much in the same vein. I think that One Piece will probably go the same way. Certainly Flesh and Blood has proven to be that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about sorcery. Sorcery is definitely a very strange one. Like I said, I will either if if he sends me the cards, or if I have to buy the starter decks,
Solar.
Pat and
Yeah,
I
you're
will
right.
try to play the game. Yeah, I was thinking Solar God, but I couldn't. My brain was brain farting.
And I'm not bashing on people for liking it. You know, I have the Lord of the Rings LCG. Love that. That's a difficult game. I
I
have
can
the
tell
Star
you
Wars
it wasn't
Infinity.
at my LGS yesterday when I was looking, but I saw One Piece. I saw Lorcana was in a good strong showing. I saw Flesh and Blood. There was a Flesh and
Oh,
Blood
there's a
tournament
new
going on
Lorcana
while we were
coming out.
drafting.
I think I just saw that
Uh,
this week. New Lorcana. I didn't even buy
I was talking to
because
the owner of the LGS, and he was telling me that Lorcana makes him tons of money. He said it sells
it's
very
healthy.
well.
Like people can poo-poo on it, and I think a lot of people shit on it because Rudy shit on it. I don't know what went on there. Rudy says, "Oh, it's not because of sour grapes because I couldn't get my hands on it." And I think thou dost protest too much, Rudy. There was a lot of money to be made. There's still a lot of money to be made. It doesn't make sense that he'll run things like, Weiss Schwartz, but and what was the other stuff that he's weird old shit that he's running, and
Well,
he doesn't want to
MetaZoo was
run
one of them.
one of the top three, and you're going to poop on Lorcana. Okay, that makes a lot of
Oh,
sense in the TCG space.
he does like the anime girlfriends or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, that's Weiss Schwartz.
Yeah, Weiss. Yeah, yeah, that's
He'll
a
do those, but he doesn't do Lorcana. Something doesn't add up there, folks.
he does it
So
on Wednesdays for
I
some reason.
think it was
I'm
sorcery.
convinced I'm convinced that he's buying a ton of it and he's hoarding it, and one of these days he's gonna be like, "Aha, I got all you!
Got him.
I'm the
I don't think
clown."
so. I think that there's some sour grapes there. I really do. I don't know exactly why, but I know that they kept things kind of tight initially because of they remember they were facing a lawsuit. Remember that from I can't remember Upper Deck. I think was
Yeah.
trying to
Whatever happened with
sue
that?
them. Nothing. It's a big nothing. But and lawsuits they take that kind of time. But it had the intended effect, right? But Lorcana prevailed, right? I'll guarantee you they were trying to get a cease and desist on him to keep him from publishing the game. That's probably why the initial print run of the first chapter was so small. Lorcana's not actually protected and guarded by Disney. Disney just licenses their IP. So a lot of people make that confusion. It's Ravensburger, and Ravensburger's not a small company, folks. I mean, they've been around for 150 years, something like 120
Yeah,
years.
but realistically, I'm sure
They're no
Disney
Disney.
would back them up for
I don't think so.
things.
Not
You
for
don't think
business
so?
decisions. No.
Mhm. I
I
feel like
think
they
they
would.
would throw them quickly under the bus. Disney's a cruel taskmaster, and I've said it before. I think that's one of the risks of Lorcana, right? I think that's a big gamble on Ravensburger's part. Disney has a tendency to pull their IP like that, like just on a whim, even for things that are profitable. There was a Marvel game called it was a Facebook game, Avengers Alliance, and it was making money, and they just rather than charging them, they just made it shut it down. It's like I don't understand Disney. And I was reading a Reddit post about many other things that Disney just when they bought Marvel, when they bought Star Wars, they just made a lot of people shut down, and they just didn't want to fight Disney. I'm not a huge Disney fan as far as a corporation, but I like many of the IPs. It's near and dear, sort of cartoons growing up and that kind of stuff. I like Lorcana just as it is. I like it as a game, and I like the artwork, and I like it as a collectible. But there's a lot of risk there, and Disney could shut them down in a second. That's just the way that they've done business for many, many, many years. So I would suspect that if it got in hot water, Disney would drop them like a hot potato. So I think the Upper Deck just had some sour grapes. It is not mimeoplasm. This is actually if you looked at our thumbnail for tonight, it's that spooky time of year. It is. Can anybody name that card besides Matt? Can anybody in the audience name the artwork? Love this card, actually. I wish I could make it work in a deck, but here, I'll take my face off so you guys can see it more better. Great card, but very Halloween themed. So that's what I was going for. So apparently I failed. But it's that time of year. The leaves are already starting to change and fall around here in the Northeast Ohio area, and I love the Halloween season. Yes, very good. It is the Reaper King.
Pot of
It was
Greed.
unfortunately not Pot of Greed. Oh, or is
I
that
draw
Disney?
2 cards and end my turn.
But
The Reaper
I'm a little
King.
disappointed because I don't know if I consider Duskmourn a real Halloween theme. But last year they didn't have one, at all, right? Last year it was what? Lost Caverns
They
of
did. They
Ixalan.
did the double feature, didn't they?
No,
Wasn't
that's
that
years
around
ago.
Halloween?
No, that's like 3 years ago, dude.
I don't know. This feels like last year.
No, last year was Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and what was the fairy one that was around there? Oh, the Eldraine. Return to Eldraine, March of Eldraine, Caverns of Eldraine. OnlyFans pictures of Eldraine. And that's the one that has the super expensive version of Rhystic Study. The Starlight foil.
There's like an anime version of it or something like
What's the
that.
name of that set, folks? Why am I space cadetting here?
Wilds of Eldraine?
Wilds of Eldraine. That's it. It was Wilds of Eldraine and Lost Caverns of Ixalan around this time frame last year. So the last time we had like real Halloween sets was Duskmourn and Crimson Vow. And then it was after that they did the double feature.
There is no news on the Lorcana Upper Deck fiasco.
That's what I said. They just dropped it, right? I think they were just trying to prevent it from, maybe bullying them into not releasing the game. I think that's what they were attempting to do. Once the game's released, good luck. Do you know how much money's flown into freaking Ravensburger over Lorcana now? Ain't no way they're dropping the IP. It's a successful one. It's for now. It's a solid game, and they made it past the first 4 sets. So clearly they had enough to keep going. Well, I think this is the 6th set, right? And that's what they had on slate from what I read. I haven't read up recently. I got to go do some homework on that. But Lorcana only had a contract for the first 6 sets with Disney. So if they release one more, then we know that they've restructured their deal and made new deals with Disney, and that's a positive sign. But I'll be honest, I've been paying much more. I've been busy at work, and I've been paying much more attention to retirement monies and saving my monies.
Put it all on black.
Nope.
That's one way to retire really quickly. Just hit the lottery,
or never at all.
True.
But yeah, it's not been a great year for me, though. I mean, honestly, as far as like TCGs and CCGs go, I am softening a bit with the new change of management at WotC. I'm much happier with what I'm seeing. However, I still think they need to slow down their roll. They release too many sets per year, in my opinion. Still, they could easily cut 1 or 2 out. I still hate seeing reprints stapled onto the ass ends of sets. I think that's those special guests, those special slots, the bonus sheet stuff is just distasteful to me. Haven't seen a new advertisement for a master set, right? Didn't they? It seems like they've gotten the message with Commander Masters that people are a bit sour about the perpetual reprint machine for master sets and just full-on reprint sets. That I think they kind of got the message. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, I forget if they have an upcoming releases. What's the roadmap looking like?
What, the next year? It's got Marvel. I don't think they've announced the actual. This is about the time of year that they do announce. Usually, like between August and October, they announce the next year sets. But you're right. I don't Maybe I'm just missing it. I haven't seen it, but I haven't been paying super close attention lately. Been playing a lot more video games. Playing Lord of the Rings online right now, quite a bit. Before that, I was playing. Went back and did some Ultima Online, and just kind of slowing my roll when it comes to buying stuff. There's tall cotton right now, but I have a feeling after the election, the financial picture is going to change a bit.
We got the foundations coming up in November.
Yeah,
That's
but I
about
don't
the
think
only
we've seen
stuff that I
anything after
know.
that.
Past that, yeah, I actually don't know. I'm trying to find if there's anything more. There has to be
Yeah.
somewhere.
Okay. I got it, or at least I got something. It says article at a glance. The MTG 25 release schedule has they have is
Oh no, I
like
got the full one.
name
So
like the code names, but it's nothing like one of the sets called tennis. Clearly, it's not going to be a tennis set. It's a death race set. Oh, that's like the Mario Kart thing, right?
yeah,
Whatever.
I can't be.
Innistrad
Well,
remastered.
Innistrad remastered apparently is
That's
the
going to
first.
be a reprint set.
Yeah,
I don't know how much is in Innistrad that's all that valuable. Ultimate.
oh, Benson
Whatever
was
that
just
is.
saying Innistrad's his Halloween. So remaster should come in the first quarter of
after Christmas, Halloween after Christmas.
2025.
Awesome. Volleyball, wrestling.
January of
And then there's
2025.
the Universes Beyond Marvel, whatever that's going to be. And then Arena Improvements, whatever the hell that is. But there's a space-themed set.
Well, there's Ultimate, which is Tarkir, apparently some kind of Tarkir set.
I predict that the two biggies are going to be the Universe Beyond sets. It's going to be the Final Fantasy and the Marvel sets next year.
Well,
Those are going to be your major hits. I don't know. I'm not a big Innistrad. I wasn't around during the Innistrad block. So
MTG Arena Improvements, that could be finally bringing Commander to.
Oh, stop your wishing. That's
Commander.
not going to happen.
That'd be
They're not going to bring
cool.
Commander. I don't think they're ever going to bring Commander to it. Period.
And it's Death Race. What a dumb name.
Well, it's not. Those are code names. It's not going to be the name of the set.
I know. I'm just saying. Why tennis? What does that mean?
Well, they have volleyball, tennis, wrestling. They're probably all like Olympic sports.
Woo! I want that in my Magic sets. Yeah.
What's that?
All of the things you just said. I don't want any of that.
But that's not the actual names. Those are code names.
I can't wait to have a Liliana spiking a volleyball at my opponent. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah. At any rate, it's kind of odd that they haven't really released the set names by this point. Normally, they give you the entire roadmap by now, but stay tuned. We'll definitely cover that when it comes out. We'll go into it a little bit more in depth, but I'm just going to call it right now. The sets to be looking for will be Final Fantasy. That's a big IP out there. I won't be surprised if it does better than Marvel. Marvel has the potential to bring in new people, but yeah, I play my Reaper King and kill your Spider-Man. Like, just wow.
Oh, this actually might be something more for you, the arena improvements. Apparently, Carrots spoke about the desire to vastly improve MTG Arena. To do this, one of the main areas that they identified was the player experience, highlighting how player versus player can be incredibly intimidating. Carrots seemed to suggest that players should have an alternative to player versus player. So it sounds like a campaign, like a PvE situation, where you like play against Sparky or do some kind of like story based. You like build a deck and you fight some. I don't know, some story mode.
Coach has got some good juju in the chat there. You might want to highlight it. It's got better, more updated names than the release schedule that I found.
Multiplanar race, Return to Tarkir, Space Opera, Return to Lorwyn. Okay. And then Final Fantasy.
No,
we got Marvel. Return to Avocados.
Yeah, what is Arcavios? I've never
even heard of Arcavios. It sounds like Harry Potter. Return to Arcaviosa.
Wingardium Arcaviosa. But I would say that next year is going to be another strong year again if the general financial state is not much worse than it is now. I do think that a thought that I had this week is I'm going to make a prediction that we're going to see an uptick in Magic values and Magic purchasing this quarter, since the Federal Reserve lowered the prime rate by 0.5. So that's a pretty big rate cut, Fed rate cut. Basically, what that means is they made it cheaper for people to borrow money, right? Which means that more relaxed spending, interest rates tend to drop based on that. So bad for people like me that have a lot of money stacked away earning interest. I'm fine earning interest off the people willing to pay it.
Yeah.
But what that does is it puts credit cards and people buying more they can't afford when interest rates go down.
Dude, have you seen the interest rates for credit cards nowadays?
Yeah, they're like 35%. Get out of here.
Yeah, that was at Walmart yesterday, and it was like it's asking if you want to join for a credit card, and I just saw 34.99 APR. I'm like, dude, what? Holy crap! Mine are like 12 to 18%. Like they're not anywhere near that high.
I'm so
I
glad
800 credit score, so
I got out of buying things on credit a decade ago.
What do you mean?
I don't buy anything on credit.
Oh, I buy everything on credit and then I pay it off.
I buy everything on a credit card, but I don't buy it on credit.
Okay. I was gonna say that's just free money. I don't carry a balance. I get 2% cash back and everything.
I paid for my car in cash.
Yeah.
I rotate the money through a credit card, but that doesn't mean I'm using credit. No,
there's no way you don't know about that. You're quite financially stable.
No, I do the best I can on every purchase. I make like 1.75%.
I do 2% from cash back from Citi. It's 2% on everything.
Mine kind of rotates through. There are things that I get higher, like 2.75% on like.
Yeah, I can't be fucked to figure out who has what rewards. Citi is just 2% cash back.
No. It's my card is set up that way. When you reach a certain level, you have access to premier accounts that they, will schedule it like your more frequent purchases.
Yeah, I can't be fucked about any of that.
2.7. Well, it's the same card. It's the same card, and it adjusts based on my spending, right?
I know. I've seen the advertisement.
That I get more than 1.75. The 1.75 is like, okay, Magic cards, right? Like, sure. Any purchase at all is at least 1.75. My more common purchases are like 3 point something%. So it's it's one of those kind of structured deals. But I don't, I'm trying to cut my spending back, right? I'm approaching retirement, and I my basement. I struggle to get to my studio here, which is so much shit that I just need to get rid of. I don't have any more room on my shelves for boxes of sealed stuff. It's a nightmare. I have board games in every room, and they're sitting out on like my dining room table, my morning room table. I got into like a craze of, kickstarting everything. So I've got like, when I kickstart a game, I get like 2 massive moving boxes full of, expansion stuff. And I have no room in a 4,000 square foot home. Yeah. So I need to stop buying shit. And I don't know.
What you do is you do what everybody else does is you buy one of those shipping containers and you just start shoving that in your backyard and then you just fill that. Yeah.
No. That first off, my HOA would never let me get away.
I know.
Second, why would you do that? You'll ruin everything in there. I just need to get rid of stuff. I got too much stuff already. I don't need to be buying more. But
you do what Rudy does, and you buy a house, and then you just fill the house with stuff.
Oh, dude! Does anybody else have you seen where he has like his hall of paintings? Well,
yeah,
just
they're
like
ugly
paintings everywhere. It's so gaudy. Like every square inch of this massive house covered with old ass paintings with gaudy gold frames. No, I don't know. That's not appealing.
Well, he likes sorcery because he's just older,
It's just, it looks terrible. I do not want the place where I live to look terrible. It's sort of
just storing stuff there.
Are you familiar with the Millionaire Next Door? You ever heard of the book?
Nope. I don't read.
Basically, it's a concept that when you have most real millionaires, they don't flaunt their wealth. They drive around like Warren Buffett and a $17,000-$20,000 car. They're not driving the Maseratis and whatnot. They live in reasonable houses. They dress appropriately, just like a normal person. So the people that are wearing their wealth and showing their wealth are generally not very wealthy.
Yeah, I would be that guy. I would not be wearing my wealth. I don't. This would be my shirt. Like I don't think it really would change anything. Like why would I? I don't know. I don't see
But
the
they
value
don't
in
drive
spending a
fancy
bunch of
cars.
money
They
on.
don't own fancy houses. The ones that do, they might have net worth high because they own assets, but they're not liquid. They're what's called illiquid. So they
I have
can't
to
really
admit,
buy things.
I would
And they're
probably
leveraged
have a
to the
Nissan GTR if I was a millionaire. I'll just throw that out there. Definitely would have a sports car. Well, a bigger sports car. I have two already, but
So
anyways.
why do you need more?
Well, I would sell those, and then I would buy a better one. Like the Nissan GTR just does basically if you combine both of my cars together, you get the Nissan GTR. So then I would just have one car,
Okay.
and it's only $100,000 car. It's not like a super that's still an expensive car, but it's not like $1 million.
Depreciating asset.
Lamborghini.
Most millionaires just want to buy their cars in cash. I was just watching a show called The Money Guys, and they said that it was something like 75% of the millionaires that are their clients paid for their cars in cash, and they're not buying fancy cars. They're just buying them in cash so that it's not a depreciating asset. That's just losing money. And if you're
Yeah,
just a millionaire and you buy $100,000 car, that's 1/10 of your total wealth that is depreciating instead of appreciating. So not only you're losing money right off the top from the $100,000, but you're also not gaining the money that $100,000 would get you in interest, and it's even falling further behind because money just loses value over time because of inflation. So you're losing a lot of money, which is a lot of what people don't really understand. There are appreciating assets like real estate tend to appreciate.
you know what
Gold
is
tends to
appreciating
appreciate.
though? You know what is appreciating? The value you gain from owning the car and enjoying it. Like you have to money isn't all about making more money. Like you have to
No,
spend money for
but
enjoyment as well.
okay, but let's look at it this way: a safe rate of withdrawal. Like people that are young don't really grasp the idea that you don't get to keep working just because you want to. Companies around, but by the time you hit 53 to 55, they're trying to look to ways to reduce you from their workforce because you've probably been there for a number of years. You're one of their highest paid employees. They could hire two younger folks for what they have to pay for one of you.
Yeah.
And you tend to slow down as you get older. And you can't keep working. That's just not realistic for the vast majority of people out there. So that means you have to live off of money. And what they say is a safe rate of withdrawal, even if you invest well, is 4%. So 4% of $1 million is only $40,000 a year, minus taxes. Even at the lower bracket, you're probably looking at least 12% of that 40,000. So really, you're living off of about 32,000 by the time all is said and done. So again, you got to put away for your future, and you don't realize that when you're younger, right? And most people are living longer and longer. Social Security is going to take a big hit in about 8 years. People are expecting that to pay out well, and I'll bet you it's going to be even lower than what they're predicting. So
I will say, 32,000 is what $22,600 a month. If you've done
somewhere in
your
there.
if you've done your due diligence, you shouldn't have a house payment. You shouldn't have a car payment. That's a lot of money for monthly expenses. I mean, that's decent.
First off, most people, 75% of America, okay, 50% of Americans have nothing saved, zero,
Well,
and
sure.
cannot cover a
I'm
$1,000
saying in
bill.
a hypothetical world of what
Okay,
you should do.
of the 50% that have something, 80% have less than $80,000. That's not enough. So 4%
No.
of 80,000. It's
Well, no,
a
you
very
need the
small
million.
percentage, huh?
I said, well, no, you need the million. You need more money.
Yeah, and that's a very, very, very small percentage of Americans that have $1 million, and they'll say their assets, but they're counting their $500,000 home. It's something like 5% of the people have $1 million in retirement assets, liquid retirement assets that they can draw money off of. That means like 0.5 people out of every 10, one half of a person out of every 10 people you see walking around are going to have at least 40 grand a month. Like, that's just not going to be enough. And if Social Security takes the hit I expect it to, which would be, they say that, oh, they'll be able to cover 80%. I don't think so. I think those numbers are bogus, and I think it's going to be probably closer to 50% that they're going to pay, especially by the time you younger folks retire. That's by 2033. They're only projecting to pay 79% of what they're currently paying, and that's 79% of the average of $1,900 a month. So take 20% haircut right off the top of that, more than 20%. Right, so 10% would be 190, so $380 less than that. So about $1,500 a month for Social Security, plus whatever you save. That's what you can look forward to in reality. And I think it's going to be closer to 50%. So maybe like right around $1,000 a month is what I would expect most people your age to really get from Social Security if you take it at 62. And people don't want to hear all this stuff, but yeah, buy your cars, buy the fancy things, but if you haven't prepared, it's going to be a rude awakening. And I can tell you, because like my brother and I talk about it, of all the people we grew up with and all of our cousins, like 8 and 10 definitely are not going to retire ever. And it's a scary thing. It's a very scary thing. Anywho, speaking about scary things, in about 8 or 9 minutes here, we're going to have the backstage session for our channel members only. So if you want to get in on that, make sure that you sign up. It's just $1 a month is all you need to get into the member only chats afterwards, and you can have much more personal interactions with us. You can ask me a whole lot more about financial stuff. But like I said, the Fed dropped the lending rate by 0.5%, which means that people are going to start buying homes more. They're going to start borrowing money more. And when that happens, well, last time Magic had a big boon. So I would expect some kind of similar numbers for Magic to go up. And not just Magic, but all collectibles, all luxury items. I expect to go up, at least based on that. But that doesn't mean go out and buy $300 mystery booster 2 boxes, folks. That's a huge mistake. You're gonna regret it, would be my guess if I had to bet. Now, Matt's right. If this is the only time they release it, yeah, these boxes are going to skyrocket.
Yeah, the $300 will seem like a decent price. But we'll see.
Hey, Dr. Dirty Red, it's going good, going good. It's actually a pretty good week. But
yeah.
Does anybody feel like this is a very Halloween set, though, Duskmourn? It's creepy, but I don't know if it qualifies as Halloween. It doesn't really speak Halloween to me.
I mean, it's still a month, like more than a month away for Halloween. So, like, I don't know if they were trying to go for a Halloween spooky set. I mean, it is a spooky set.
But it doesn't feel like the Halloween sets that we got from there's Solar God that we got from Innistrad and Crimson Vow. And it just seems like you completely blanked on the Wilds of Eldraine and Caverns of Ixalan last year. Not Halloween-y at all.
These things. I mean, Wilds of Eldraine was kind of.
Crack it. What you got in there? What you got in there?
I'll do it in our loyalty only.
Oh wow, a members only opening. Are you going to crack the Commander Masters?
Here, I'll give you. Yeah, I'll give you a taste. I'll do Wilds of Eldraine. I'll do Wilds of Eldraine as we wrap up the non-members only, and then in the members only, you guys will see the Ixalan and then the Commander Masters.
It is a spooky set to a degree, but it doesn't. There's no jack-o'-lanterns in it. Damn it! I still need to buy more of those lands that have the graveyard creepiness. I still love that card.
A foil food token.
Why don't you make yourself big? Hold on. They don't need to see my ugly face while you're doing this. There you go.
Italian's Messenger.
Which one's a rare?
I think it's the front. Yeah, Repercussion. So this is.
So what was the other one?
Oh, Italian's Messenger.
Is that a rare?
Yeah. And then Repercussion, which is a mythic, I guess.
That was a decent card back in the day.
Restless Spire.
Never even heard of that. What the hell is Restless Spire? Can you read it?
It's a land. It's a land that enters the battlefield. It's a man land. It's a 2/1 elemental that, as long as it's your turn, it has first strike. Seems pretty bad. It looks cool, but
comes in tapped. Yeah,
it comes in tapped, so it's pretty bad. Not fetchable. You got expel the interlopers, 5 mana, destroy all between 0 and 10. Draw all
Wrath of
creatures.
God.
A blooming tortoise.
Are these all? Those are all rares.
Spreading seas. Yeah, I think now we're into the uncommons. Oh yeah, this is like the special like bordered area season of regrowth, and then a mountain, and then everything else is just whatever.
Well, there you have it, folks. That was a preview of Matt opening his. Just to show you that they were saying that these collector packs were juiced in the festival in a box. So that's what you just saw was a. Yeah. That didn't feel very juiced to me either, Coach. But that's what you're hearing is that these packs are juiced.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't feel very juiced to me.
No, that felt like it was already squeezed and then handed over to you.
I don't know if Blooming Tortoise is worth anything. It's a mythic.
Which one?
Blooming Tortoise.
That sounds like a no. That's not a card I've heard on any of like the.
Not called Blooming
I do watch the market movers. The market movers from Matt Castor and what's it? Heroes and Legends. Is that what his name is? John, Heroes and Legends. So I watch those a bit. It's kind of funny how for a long while, for years, the reserve list was on there every week, and now you hardly see any reserve list cards on there at all. I did see the ancient tombs on there that was like at $120. What the hell was that? Yeah, it sounds like a
$5 card.
Which pack was that? The Wilds of Eldraine?
Yeah. And
the didn't look like you got any super
repercussion is like
didn't look like you got any super juicy like artwork on anything there.
Repercussion. Well, repercussion. Or repercussion, not repper.
So Ancient Tomb.
Anime Borderless. Oh, it's not Anime Borderless. Repercussion.
Not the
so that's a $2 card. So basically I had to hit like a confetti foil or like one of the big ones. There was no confetti foils, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean it would have been dope. I think isn't that the super juicy one, the Ristic Study is the one you can get in confetti foil?
I mean, yeah.
Okay, so the regular ancient, the OG Ancient Tomb is like the cheapest one. I don't understand that. That doesn't make a lot of sense. But damn, that's gone up in price. The Zendikar Expeditions one is $298. Wow. Zendikar Rising Expeditions is like $95. Ultimate Masters is $68. So yeah, I was surprised to see that keeps priming up. I would expect that to get a reprint very, very soon again. Like
now to be fair, a Wilds of Eldraine collector pack is only $20. So it's not like it was like a super big investment. But I still lost money.
Not really.
I mean, I made $5 with the Blossoming Tortoise. Everything else is nothing.
Did you look everything else up already?
Repercussion is only $2.
Okay, so that's $7.
Italian's Messenger is maybe a card worth looking up. But I definitely know that Restless Spire is not worth money, and Expel the Interlopers is not worth money. But I'll look up Italian's Messenger. It is a borderless foil.
Balin's Tomb is $120. Jesus.
I have that one. I have that one in the Rainbow Surge or the Foil Surge or whatever it's called.
I mean, it's dropping in
Italian's
value.
Messenger is 30 cents.
Oh, it says $119, but it's actually $90.
Expel the Interlopers is 10 cents. So yeah, the whole pack was worth about $7. Insane.
Well, I mean, it just goes to show. Well, thank you. That's Reaper King behind me. I love the card. But I think that's going to wrap it up for us here this week, folks. Hopefully next week we'll have Patty Pat back with us again to liven up the stream a little bit more. Remember, for the members only, we're going to continue this on here in about a minute, and you'll get to see Matt open some more juice, some super juiced collector packs in the members only chat. Thank you, everybody, for showing up, coaches and Dr. Dirty Red, and if I don't mention you here, Solar God and everybody else.
Solar God, get with me in Discord, and let's work on getting sorcery over. If you want to sell me some of your sorcery, or if you want to donate, whatever you want to do, if you've got like bulk that you want to get rid of for Pat and I to experience the game, let me know. If not, I'm just gonna buy the collector or the starter deck pack for $50 or whatever it is. But yeah, see you guys over in the members only chat. 30-minute video over there. Subscribe for $1. You get to see it. Later.